To wait for that little.
Wait for people to clear. I know. It just asks you to agree you're happy to be recorded. Hi guys, thank you so much for coming on. Look, feel free to use the chat. I think I've banned people from unmuting themselves. I do apologise. But if you need to unmute yourself, just let me know and we can unmute you if you want to chat, because it is going to be super informal. It's not going to be like a
not like a proper training.
No, definitely not.
It is a proper training, but not much more conversational. Everyone's like panicking, thinking it's not going to be proper training.
No.
So you've got a question, haven't you? You want to ask first?
Yes. So obviously we're here to talk about customer groups. We've got quite a few things to go through. It's going to be really informal. Me and Lisa discussing. You guys feel free to use the chat as much as you want, and I'm going to actually get that up so I can see it as it moves.
The more people use the chat, the better, because we love engagement, and I think we feed off of you guys.
Definitely.
Do engage with us as much as you can.
And if you do want to unmute yourself, you've got something to contribute, please feel free to use it. Just ask me to unmute you and I'll find you and unmute you. Okay, so the first question, so we're here to talk about customer groups. The first question I want to ask you guys, I want you to use the chat to answer. What do you think the purpose of your customer group is? How do you see the purpose of your customer group? I just want to get a really broad idea.
Right or wrong, is there? There's
no right or wrong answer. We just want to get an idea of what you guys feel like the reason for having a customer group is. I'm loving these answers.
I know, I love it. We should make a little Canva meme of these. Yeah. They're going quick as well. Like a shot that people come for the chat. I love that. Great network of Scentsy fans. Scentsy, I always say Scentsy is like Alcoholics Anonymous for Scentsy people. Scentsy Anonymous. It is, isn't it?
Know people better.
I love it.
Community. People have mentioned community, engaging, help build relationships, build your customers. Oh, it moved really quick then. I missed loads. Promoting, so obviously promoting your products. So really it's got a massive purpose. So the way I see my customer group is my VIP group, and I think you're the same, aren't you, Lisa? It's people who have already purchased from you, and it's a little place for you, and knowing what the purpose of your customer group is actually really, really important, so you know what kind of content that you want to create.
And I think everybody does it slightly different, because when we were talking about this earlier, I asked you the question, didn't I? And you were like,
I was like, what the hell?
It's a really hard question, but I think I've been giving it a lot of thought lately. And for me, I think my customer group is a bit of a lifestyle blog of how I use Scentsy, which creates trust. And it's a bit like, I suppose I've created my own, what do you call it? Like your own ethos, like your own
brand.
Yeah, sort of brand, because I don't really think my customer group has a brand, unlike some people I know are really bang on with a brand.
Your own following.
Yeah, it's just like our own little community, isn't it, really? Like that own little community. But that trust thing is a really big thing for me, because I think that leads to lots of sales, and I do think I do get, and the same as Tam does, I get a lot of sales from a customer group. A lot.
So I think the purpose, like you say, yours is a lifestyle blog. You show yourself using Scentsy, that is how you get your sales. For me, same as what Shell's just said, I've got a lot of people in there who are not customers. You was ruthless, weren't you? And you had
come all out. Yeah, I'm ruthless.
See, I haven't done that, and I don't plan on doing it. So the purpose of mine is like a VIP group. It's where I basically tell a story of what it's like to be my customer. That's it, Shell. You get them in eventually. You basically I show what it's like to be my customer, and I have really good, Lisa does as well, where my customers actually post pictures of their orders or their products, and that it almost tells a story to people who are not customers, so they can see what it's like. They can watch other people be a customer. You can show them what it's like to be absolutely give them FOMO. see, the purpose of mine is getting customers to reorder more frequently, because when you are in their Facebook feed, like my Facebook feed is, well, you bought some crazy mop from your Facebook feed yesterday, didn't you? That you really
I
don't.
did, and I sent it at the time. I was like, I think you need this. She was like,
I think I don't.
too.
So your Facebook feed is definitely, like, Facebook sells. It's a great place to get your current customers to reorder and keep them engaged, keep them informed with what's going on, what new products are launching, what products are on offer. And then it's also, there's like the promotion side of it where you show the products, but there's also where you scatter in obviously the post about what it's like to be your customer, like, and show you building relationships with your customer. And I think I thought back to a group I was in. It was a clothing group, and they emailed me a link to their group VIP group. Now it was really like cool how they did it. Like, they emailed you and they said, now you're our customer. It was just a clothing brand, and they said, now you're our customer, you are welcome to be part of this our VIP group. So you added yourself in, and it was just literally full of all their customers posting selfies or stuff like that of themselves in clothes that they'd just bought off this website. And everybody was like, oh, I want to, like, that was selling the products from. People were like, oh, have you got a link? I can't find it on the website. Oh, which color did you get? Oh, which size did you get? How does the size fit? And I thought, really, that they're onto something there, like really onto something, because they're getting their customers to then do the sell. They've just basically provided a platform, and they're getting their customers to do the selling for them.
The customers do the hard work, don't they? And I think our customers are quite good at that, though.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of work. It's not just been absolute.
It hasn't happened overnight.
Yeah, it's not happened overnight. So seeing this group, that obviously they will have had to do a lot of work at the beginning to get their customers to share, like, show us your favorite purchases that you've brought, show us or maybe even tagging people, say, you've just bought a like a brand new warmer, like obsidian warmer this month, show us a picture of it. Or, there's a lot of work that goes into getting your customers doing it. But once customers see other customers doing it, then they start doing it. Kerry, we've all been there. It just takes time. Like, I spent the whole of last year focusing so hard on my
working on this.
Yeah, absolute solid work. I didn't just post and pray. Like, I was really intentional with my content. I also I gave my customer group a purpose, and that was what I like focused on, like having that purpose. So that's why we asked you what the purpose of your group's in. But
I will just say as well, like, when I removed everybody, I think there was a few people saying about that. Since then, some of my customers have started to add in friends and family. If they add in friends and family that had never bought from me, that's fine, because they're people I'm gonna now build a relationship with. But the reason I did that, and I remember when I did it, Tam like nearly had palpitations. But the reason I did it was because I had a lot of consultants that were friends and family that had added a lot of their friends and family, and they were still consultants. And if I could see they were added by those specific people, I removed them. And if I messaged them and said, I did message a lot of them and say, do you still want to remain in here? The ones that didn't, I removed. And then the others, it was like, do I know them? If I know them, I kept them in there. If I didn't know them and I didn't have any relationship with them, I just removed them. So that it did work for me. I will come to that later, because we will talk about like inboxing your customers, Dawn. But I just asked them, do you want to stay in the group? Like, you're in my group, congratulations. Like, would you like to stay in there? Yeah, like yes or no. I kept it really simple and really conversational. A lot of people didn't even know I'd messaged them, because that we weren't friends on Facebook. They'd been added by like a third party. We'd never had any kind of interaction. And I'm really hot on now making sure that people get an actual, if I say to someone, I don't just add them to my customer group. I say, would you like to be part of my customer group? You don't. And that is something that I get added to a lot of groups, like you guys probably do. And sometimes I don't want to be in that group. And I'm like, I didn't want to be in here. And I've just been added to a group. Like, I don't think that's what a VIP group should be, personally. And that's what mine used to be. It's not like that now. But again, like Tam said, we spent a lot of time. This started for me, the work on my customer group, probably a good year ago, when I decided I wanted to give it more like gumption, more something, more purpose. That's the right word for it, definitely.
And when we was just planning this, we kind of we knew people would say, like, I don't get people commenting, I don't get people interacting. Like, we knew that would be a common problem. We can't give you like, do that and you'll have everybody posting on your group. I wish I could, because I swear to you, if I could, I would. It's just not that simple. This is where the background work comes in. This is where the amazing customer service definitely makes a difference. Asking questions. Yes, I did a good one there, didn't I? The ace of it would work. I can't click with that hand. Asking people questions to get them engaging. When you go to your customer's house, so if you hand any customers' orders over face to face, when you're chatting to them, say to them, oh, post a picture for me. I'd be so chuffed if you posted a picture for me. Ask people to do it. If they don't do it, it's like, you know, it's no huge loss. But once they start seeing other people doing it, then it'll start encouraging each other to do it. Because, like, people, especially if you get people commenting on each other's posts, it doesn't matter. Like, your VIP group can have 40 people in there, it can have 10 people in there. It doesn't matter how many people you've got in there. You've got to not compare the size of anything. Some people's VIP groups can have 1,000 people in there and they cannot have a single person interacting. It's about the content and the value and the contribution you are encouraging. That's what's important. But it's, sorry, what was I just saying? It throws me when I've got to add somebody. What was I just saying?
You've got to add somebody. You were saying about the value that it adds. That's
yeah, like, if you've got the background work is where it all comes from. So having those conversations with people when you are dropping your orders off, when you're messaging customers, when they say, oh, send me a photo of your warmer, and then saying, oh, I would be so grateful if you put that on my group, would you add it in? And then if you've got any great relationships, like your mum or your sister, or even like some consultant friends, ask them to go comment on your customer's post, because I tell you what, people love interaction. Like, people do. If they get gratitude or like, oh wow, that looks amazing, go and ask 5 people, say, oh, would you do me a massive favor, would you go comment on this post? So if you've got, it'll take them a second, and then what will happen is other customers will see them posting a photo and get an interaction, and then they'll want that too. They will want that too. And most people's mums are there. My mum isn't my main contributor because she hasn't got a bloody clue what she's doing. And she thinks she's on the phone to me on FaceTime when I'm on live. I'm like, no, mum, I can't see you. Only you can see me right now.
I love that.
I know. But yeah, use your groups to ask other people. Go and ask a couple, like your sponsor, a couple of other people. Go and ask them to comment on the post and just give a really nice compliment. And then when other customers see that, then they will be like, I might post, and it'll just encourage it.
Do you know, we did that a lot when I very first started selling Scentsy. One of the things that we used to do, there used to be a small group of us, and we was all in each other's customer groups with the intention to build interaction. And it was always about not fake customers, because I'm really not all for that.
I hate that. Like, you shared a story with me about a company you joined, and I was like, oh, I'd never want to look like that.
I joined a company like very briefly for like, we're talking like a day. I mean, how they missed out, right? Because I probably could have gone and flogged hundreds of tooth whitening toothpastes, and I'll leave you to work out which one it was. But they actually asked me, like, you will post the post and then we will all comment and say we want one, and then hopefully some of your friends and family will see that. Now, the idea behind it is genius, but the actual execution of it, not great. If you execute it in the right way. So what we used to do, there used to be like 5 or 6 of us, and it was more that we would comment things like, oh my God, I absolutely love that warmer. We wasn't saying things like, where did you get the bags, or where did you get the ribbon? Can I borrow this picture? We didn't say anything like that, but it was very much like
valuable contribution.
Yeah, it was a valuable contribution. Like, oh my God, I warm coconut lemongrass, and you know, it fills my entire house, for example. And that was the sort of thing that would trigger somebody else to, you know, to order. And we did it for a little while. When I first started using Instagram, there was a group of 5 or 6 of my directors, and we had a little WhatsApp group set up, and we would just post in there saying, I've just done a post, and we would go and help each other out by commenting and posting on each other's. Just one tip on that is, if you do things like that, just bear in mind, Facebook is set up in a way, the people that you interact with the most are the people whose posts you're going to see the most. So if you only interact with your Facebook, like 20 or 30 Facebook people, that's who you're going to see all day long, every day long. And that is really important for you to know that, even whether it's in a group, a page, your personal page, the more Scentsy people you interact with, that's what Facebook's going to fill your Scentsy feed with. Like Tam said, I've seen yours and Laura's posts as suggested profiles to go and follow this week, but that's because we interact with each other on and off of social media.
So there's actually, this is a little bit not Facebook group orientated, but people who I've been chatting to in WhatsApp and Messenger the past couple of days, their business pages are appearing as suggested. I literally, Lisa and Laura being in my news feed, like every 3 posts was Laura talking. So I was like, Laura, what have you done to my phone? And so if you are interacting with your customers in WhatsApp, in Messenger, and you've got a business page, then what's going to happen is Facebook is going to give your put your business page as a suggested. It's true, because what we were saying, the people in mind today were the people I've been interacting with on Messenger. So it'll choose if you're interacting with them in a private message, then it'll put your business page as a suggested post to them. So business pages are very valuable. Facebook groups are not gonna, if you're wanting to grow a big business, they are not like a complete business plan. Like that's it. It's almost like just having a Facebook group is literally like opening the shop down a very, very quiet street and not telling anybody that it's there. That's what it is. People are not going to find you. You're going to have to do a lot of work for people to find you. You're going to have to go look for everybody. So the work that you need to do to find people needs to be on other platforms. Facebook page, networking, getting, obviously using your kit to get stuff out there, home parties, basket parties, borrow bags, all that kind of stuff. This is where you need to be looking for new people. Instagram, obviously, all the other platforms. I don't use any other platforms. Do you use any? I just use Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram and Facebook, but then most of what I do is off of social media, and it's WhatsApp messaging and building relationships with people and face to face, really. That is like a big tip. But it does prioritize those people, isn't it?
Yeah, and then draw them into your Facebook group. That's what you need. That's what the work we do. So every single one of my customers, if they order online, if I interact with somebody, I try and draw them into my group, because my group is where people get FOMO and they'll learn what it's like to be a customer of mine. So I do try, because I find if they're just an online customer, they order much more frequently when they get into my Facebook group, and that's where I can build a relationship with them, and that's where they get to know my other customers. And obviously when you've got other customers posting, commenting, ordering, it's social proofing your product, and it's social proofing you as a consultant.
That's where the trust comes in, doesn't it? Like that's where I'm finding, like, so today, for example, I focused on coconut lemongrass and posted about that, and it only took a couple of my customers to say, oh my god, I love this is my favorite bar, and I think I've sold 17 bars.
You've had about 300 comments on it. I quickly saving the photos.
It went a little bit wild, but that purely is exactly as you say, Tam. It's drawing those people in, building that trust with people. And then once you get the right type of content, which we will talk about, it literally, it just goes, it will go a little bit wild. And I know that everybody is saying things like at the moment, but my reach isn't getting out there. Tam and I were reading, I was reading to Tam, this thing that I found, and I will share the actual link to it, because it was really interesting, like doing the research behind the scenes on what's actually happening with Facebook right now, because it seems to be a topic of conversation, like everywhere is like, what's going on with the Facebook reach? Well, I've heard that at least once a week for like since January, I think. But actually your reach doesn't matter. Like, we don't actually believe it's real, do we? We were talking about this. I don't believe it's accurate at all. Like, one of the things that Facebook actually said was it's looking for engagement rate, group activity, and actual conversion rate as well. So when you're seeing something might have only got a reach of 99, for example, and you think, oh, old posts used to get a reach of like, I don't know, 250. I want you to ignore it. I really want you to ignore the whole reach thing. You've got to ignore it, because if that's your only focus, like Tam said, drawing people into your groups is actually going to be like the most important thing that you can do right now, because that's where your reach is going to go up, bringing new people into that group. Sorry.
No, sorry. I think that the conversion rate is what we're focused. Yeah, it's really important. Like, obviously I'm just reading the chat, and a lot of people saying, oh, I tried that and I didn't get anything. I tried that and didn't get anything. I could try Lisa's coconut lemongrass post and I get absolutely nothing. It is there's so many contributing factors. The time that you post. Are your customers online? Have your customers just ordered? How did you post it? How did you describe it? Did you give FOMO? So good value. There's so many contributing factors. Like Lisa did a post on Pink Haze when it was in the clearance and sold loads and loads of bars from it. I copied and pasted Lisa's post and just like amended it slightly, and I didn't sell a single one. It is like what works for one does not work for another, and we cannot give you an absolute like magic formula that's going to work. You've got to put the work in. You've got to put the work in. You've got to be prepared to put the work in and understand that you're not going to get immediate results. This was a long game. Like your Facebook group really shouldn't be your only source of where you're getting orders from. This is just part of our businesses. This is like a small, at the end of the day, it's a brand completely free platform. You're not renting a shop front here. You've got a completely free platform, and all you've got to do is work to make it work and work to get sales back.
And work out how it works for you and your customers. I think that's the thing. It's like Tam's customers are Tam's customers, mine are mine. They're different people, so our groups are going to work very differently.
Yeah, and having that and knowing what the purpose of your group is. So for me, it's where I want my customers to know what it's like to feel keep my customers updated, and know what it's like to be see what it's like to be my customer, showing like social proofing. I tell you one thing I always notice with other direct sellers is when they post a photo of their orders arriving. That for me always gets my attention. So even if you're right at the beginning, you just got a kit, post a photo of it. But always post when your orders arrive, post a photo of it. That gives social proof to your customers that they can see that you are getting sales. When your orders are made up and ready to go, if they're in boxes, bags, whatever, take a photo. It doesn't need to be amazingly pretty or anything like that. Literally anything. That is a really good way of social proof. That's really good content, and I've seen it other network marketers providing that content, and it's really got my attention. I'm like, oh, they actually must be doing really well. Obviously the products must be quite good. People are ordering it.
It makes you look, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was going to ask if you're taking a phone call or something.
No, I was just reading that bit that we was, like part of our reason for doing this was one of the things that we read earlier, and we were like, this is so like true, and it just links with what we're talking about. So both Meta and marketers are leaning heavily into groups into 2023. So if there is going to be a year to actually really focus on your customer group, it is this year. It is right now. This is the time to really be like, right, I am going to put some work into my customer group, like sod the reach, sod the engagement. Let's not worry about that right now, but let's make some changes that are going to drive your group forward, because Facebook, or i.e. you might see them as Meta, are really focusing on groups at the minute. So we can expect to see more features that are going to help you start conversations, build connections, and create self-sustaining community on social media. Now is a great time to make Facebook groups part of your social media strategy. One of the things that like Tam was talking about there, about like that interaction and building that community with your customers, and Amy's just asked the question that I'm going to come on to. I know I never, ever schedule posts, but Scentsy is my full-time job. I don't schedule posts, but in some of the research that I've done in this, because I've been reading stuff for weeks on this, trying to find the answers for like everybody that's saying, oh, but why is this happening? One of the things that I think I've really, really noticed, which I think is really, really important, is to do with the conversations that you are having with your customers. So for example, if I did a scheduled post this morning and then I went out for the day and I knew I wasn't going to have a chance to look at my phone, it means that by the time I come to respond to that message, it might be 9 o'clock at night. That customer might have asked me a question about coconut lemongrass, let's just say, for example. If I then haven't responded to that for 6 hours, Facebook group algorithms are picking up on these type of things. This is the type of things that Facebook is reading for. So for those of you that maybe are scheduling, like strategically looking at your, when's the best time to post, right, I need it to schedule because I'm working. Some of the things that I read was that actually I used to be like, post 5 or 6 times a day. One of the things that it suggests actually is to post less at the moment, which I would probably say that I'm doing naturally. And I would say you do as well, Tam, sometimes, because we post what we would call better content, like actual thought out, really well written content. And I do it more as I'm using the product. Like I said, my customer group is more like a blog. Now, I don't post and run, a bit like scheduling. I think it is a little bit like post and running. I think it's such a great tool, but you need to still be able to respond to those customers in a timely manner. Because, for example, customer asks, oh, coconut lemongrass, do you think it's like quite strong then? You reply with, yes, actually, I think it's one of the strongest waxes. For example, it really gets rid of my dog smells. Oh, you've got a dog, haven't you, Karen? It'd be brilliant for your home. You've asked a question. Karen's now got to respond with an answer. Karen's waiting for the answer for you to respond because she's asked you said question in your customer group. Karen now responds to your answer and you've now opened up a conversation. Conversation has now started. Facebook spots that and sees that as, oh, hold on, that must be interesting. They're having a conversation. Let's show that to more people. Your group gets bumped in the algorithm, therefore that post reaches more people. Now, I know that sounds like a little bit complicated to think about it, but actually
No,
it's a bit like being in a room.
Really, basically what the short of what you're saying is just reply with a question, because then you're going to keep the conversation going. And then, so just ask them a question and then you're going to keep the conversation going. And then Facebook's going to notice that this post is sparking discussion, exactly that. And then you're going to notice that your Facebook is recognizing. You can see there's a lot more tools and perks of being and little bits and bobs coming into groups at the moment, so that Facebook will notice that and think, it will. So Emily said, does that work with a private group? It will show the post to more people who are members of your group. So my group's private, Lisa's group is private. I think if you, like somebody said that it's Carrie, I think you said you love scheduling and then it leaves you more time to network. If it works for you, do it, definitely. It's just I probably would be guilty of posting, forgetting I've got a scheduled post going out, going and doing something totally different, and then not responding to comments and relying on Facebook's very temperamental with whether it shows you. It's not very reliable on whether it's going to give you notifications on your main screen, is it?
No.
But yeah, I think some people have said about good times to post as well. That is, again, a very difficult question to answer. So I always find, this is the thing. So me, Gemma Webb and Ashley Johnson were sat in my dining room on Saturday night, and we all took a photo of World Traveller, because we were just discussing the fact that we hadn't sold any for a little while. So we all took a photo of World Traveller because we were discussing good wax baths. All three of us posted it on Saturday night. Me and Gemma both got instant orders for World Traveller. Ashley didn't. I'm a spontaneous poster as well. Ashley didn't, and she didn't post. She didn't get an order straight away. But then the next day, I said to her, like, don't worry. Like, she was like, oh, it's not fair, I've not got one. But I said, don't worry, because the next day you'll get an order for something else. And she did. She sold probably way more child Mandalorians than me. It's just about who's online at that time, and it is a very, very, very difficult
it's system. A bit fickle, isn't it? It's a bit fickle, Facebook groups and the way Facebook is running. And just when you think you've got it figured out, they change something. I mean, they're bringing in so many new features right now. So where you said about that conversation starter, I didn't have it on my group for a little while, but actually now you can actually click on create a chat for this particular feed, and it takes you to Messenger and it adds people, your customers, into Messenger. And some of my directors tried it. I think it was at the weekend, and I was like, I haven't got this feature. I had to go and turn it on. And when you turn that feature on, some of them were able to sell like a 6-pack of wax, because it then drove a bit more of like a conversation that was going on in inbox. So that, if you can try and spark conversation on a feed, asking questions, there's actually a tab on your customer group. I looked at it earlier and I was like, oh my God, like, this is brilliant. The tab says questions, and you can actually look, if you click on it, it will show you all the different questions that you've asked in your group. So for example, like one of my questions that I asked today was, what do you have on your pancakes? And I did the post about the lemon pancake with the vanilla bean buttercream. One of my customers actually commented and said, I'm hating you today because you're posting too many things that I like. And I was like, I couldn't think of anything worse. Lemon sorbet and vanilla bean buttercream personally together in my Walmart. It's not my bag. But it shows you all the questions that you've asked. And now it's all these tabs across the top in your customer group are there for a reason. Facebook want you to use them. And it's simple as that. The more of them you can start to use. I mean, I was really guilty of just posting for a really long time, doing a post, pictures and lives. That was probably all I used in my customer group. But Facebook are now offering things like the chats, the featured post. So I now do have a featured post at the top, which gives, you know, how to shop, very simple, basic, step-by-step guide of how to shop on my website. And also, if people want to join my WhatsApp broadcast, I've got the link to which, if they click on it, it sends me a message. It basically puts us in a message, a one-to-one message together. So they can comment on that and ask to join my WhatsApp broadcast. They're the two main things I put in my featured posts. But questions is brilliant. And also reels is on there. So if any of you do make reels, and it might be product related reels, Tam's brilliant at making product related reels. I can make ones of me, like my one of me not filling up my car with petrol had 80,000 views on it, would you believe, on Facebook page. But you can do reels within your customer group. Short little video is really like favored on Facebook right now, and Instagram, on any social media platform. So that might be something to consider. We're sharing a lot of videos at the minute, like you've made some brilliant videos, Tam, of all the new warmers that are coming. You can turn those into reels. Why not create a reel, add some music to it, make it really short and sweet? It's just a product reel. It's not you having to voice sync or dance or do anything silly. I used to be one of them that said I would never dance on a reel.
You will never see me dance on a reel.
I did say that, and then I didn't.
I know you did, and then you did it. But that's the feature post. So you've got to think, right? Somebody looking at your group, and like say like what Lisa's just said, someone brand new comes to a Facebook group, right? First, they're going to scroll down. First they're going to get is that feature post that tells them how to become a customer and what to do, rather than scrolling down and saying, oh, what you're having on your pancakes this morning. Like, they need to understand the purpose of the group, and that's why a featured post is really important. I've massively encouraged everybody. So I've got a how to order, and I've also got, these are the current fragrances. That's another one I've got. So all the wax fragrances, I literally screenshot the catalogue pages and crop them. You know, the digital link of the catalogue with the fragrances in. I just screenshot those and crop them to make them into images. And I say, these are the current, I was going to show you, but you don't really need to know, because you probably already know. But I'll just have the photos there, and I tell people they're the current fragrances, and this is the price of the fragrances. And then, like, if there's any other important information. But there's been a few things that we've talked about. So we've talked about, like, the purpose of your group, having your expectations right, knowing that don't just rely on your Facebook group for orders, because it can be very disheartening if that's the only like avenue you're relying on for orders. And what happens is, when people get disheartened, is their efforts sort of, like, they get disheartened and then their efforts go down with it as well. Like, we're all guilty of it when we see the reach, and it becomes a thing, and we're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? And so you're not excited, and that shows in your content. So it's you have got to be really committed that you're going to keep providing good quality content regardless of results, because it is a long game. It does take time. I spent, like, literally, I've had my group now for 6 years, but last year was a massive year for me for really, really focusing on my group. And sometimes I do let it slip, but then I try and pick it back up again, because I'm like, right, I'm going to have to do some work now to get the interaction back up again. And it is like you've just got to play the long game and have your expectations right. Know the purpose of your group. What do you want people to think when they see your group? What do they want people to feel? Do they want to shop, or do they just feel like they've been sold to? Do they just feel like you're just desperate for a sale? Or do they think, oh wow, look, this woman's providing great service, or this consultant's really excited about these products? Or you know, like when they see your customers engaging as well, really does encourage other people to purchase, and more frequent purchases as well. Keeping a bit of a consistency builds trust massively. If you are, I do really recommend you take some of your own photos. That definitely builds trust with customers, because I follow a lady who she's top of the comp plan for, sorry, I sound really flummy then, I didn't mean to, for a well-known makeup direct selling company. And honestly, like, she's obviously been in the company a while, and she just literally posts other people's pictures over and over again and gets zero interaction from them. And I'm like, I would not buy from you because I feel like you're lying to me. I feel like you're just desperate for me to buy your products. I can't see you using this collagen or whatever it's called that you are. Oh, what is it called? It's totally gone out of my head.
Collagen.
But yeah, no, it's collagen. I can't see you using this collagen that you're telling me to use and pay God knows how much money for, or this mascara. You're just showing me other people's selfies. So show me some of your own results, and show me some of your own you using the products. And that's what builds trust. Buffet all over again. It is Buffet. And Haribo, yeah. I want to re-teach the whole of England how to speak. But like that, when I look at her group, I feel like I'm being sold to. I feel like I'm being just desperate for a sale, and it doesn't make me want to buy. What makes me want to buy is when I'm in someone's group and I can see that they genuinely love the products, that they genuinely appreciate their customers, and that they're genuinely excited about the products, and they're serious about their business. They want to treat their customers well. They can trust you if they hand you money, that you're going to obviously provide the product, all of that stuff. Yeah, flyers serve a purpose for information, but not for inspiration. Like, they don't inspire people to buy. For me, flyers are information only. I don't like get excited by flyers at all.
I post them once in a blue moon. I will say 6-pack flyers once in a blue moon I will get sales on, but that they're few and far between in my group. Like few, like once every couple of weeks, I think, if that.
Yeah. I have bank a lot of content where I massively take loads and loads of photos. If you've obviously taken if you've got your hair and makeup nice, take some nice selfies of you with the products and stuff like that, and just bank a load of content and then sort it out into albums, because I don't know if you've ever done it, Lisa, but I cannot tell you how much quicker it is for me to write content when my photos are in albums, because I've literally got an album for mini warmers, full-size warmers, clean products, Scentsy selfies, Scentsy club information, stuff like that. I have got, God knows, I'll tell you how many photos I've got on my phone. Is it easy to see? 63,630. The only thing that I don't like about it is that you can't delete them at your camera roll on an iPhone. You have to keep them in your camera roll, which is a little bit frustrating. But I saw we've all got more photos. I was looking for a photo of my daughter earlier, and I was like, Jesus, I've not taken one for a while.
I've got 66,000. How fun is that? We've got a similar amount.
I don't know how it runs. I really don't. But yeah, I have all my photos in albums, and that has made life so much quicker for me, so much quicker, and it's so much easier. It giving me like an air purifier one, it gives me so much more when I'm writing some content. And I also go to the PWS and I copy and paste content off the PWS. So I write some of my own spiel, I've just done a soak post, and I copied and pasted some information off the PWS just to get all the information across, so I'm not sat there thinking, oh, how do I word this? And then just provide information this is the price and this is the fragrances available. And another thing I've just sprung to mind while Lisa was talking, another thing that she mentioned about asking questions. When you have a customer come and say to you, what's your strongest scent? That turns into a really good post. Like you can then say, I've just had a customer ask me what my strongest scent are. So here's my biggest, strongest recommendations are. I've just had a customer ask if we've got any lavender fragrances. So these are my best, this is my best recommendation. Floral, whatever, you know, what is our best sellers? That's really good content. Obviously, when we get the
love to give opinions, don't they? People love to give their opinion on things like that. Like we all do, don't we? Like it's brilliant. I love it. One of the things I was just thinking, Tam, when you said that about content, is this is something that I'd really strongly recommend, is if you're having a day, like you're having, like, I'm not saying don't post, but rather than just post for the sake of it, try to find, as you say, try to create really like valuable content, rather than I just need to post because I haven't posted all day. Right, then if that's the case, you're better off not posting. And I have really found that. I have sometimes where I think, oh my God, I need to post something. And then I actually thought, no, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna post when I'm using the product, or exactly that, Amy. Quality over quantity. That's right. Yeah, quality over quantity. So like 3 really decent posts, so much better than maybe 6 really rushed posts where you post and prayed and then done a runner, and you know it's a bit of a panic post. Exactly that, rather than actually thought out like what you're going to post about, you know, what you're trying to get out of it. I think is really, really important.
Yeah, some people like scheduling I have to schedule on my business page or it doesn't happen. I don't know why, but I have a total different like connection with my business page to what I do my customer group. Scheduling is a really, really valuable tool, and definitely I can use my notes on my phone and I'll bank content in there. So if I get an idea, I'll write it in there and then I'll post it when it feels right. But on my business page, I'll like schedule it for like up to 2 weeks ahead. I can be really organized on there. Is that my signal or your signal going? I don't even know. Yeah, so scheduling is a good tool, definitely, especially if people are like, they have set times where they're going to do it and they know that they want to. And if you work full time, obviously, it works really, really well.
Something else that works as well, like when you're creating your content, you know your customers. So something I said to Tam, she said, oh, you do that a lot. I tag certain customers, not on every post, and I actually rarely use the @everyone tag in my customer group. I actually tag. So for example, I posted, what did I post where I can't remember what it was.
The vanilla 6-pack.
Oh, the vanilla 6-pack. I posted a flyer of a vanilla 6-pack, and which again was a little bit of a, I don't really know what to post today. I'm going to try that and see. And I must admit, I don't post a lot of sweet bars like vanilla, hug in a mug, because I don't use them. And as I said to you, my group is very much what I use in the moment, what I'm loving. So I thought, right, I'm going to post that. Now I posted it, and then in the comments, I tagged like 5 or 6 of my customers that I was like, I know that you love this fragrance. And I literally just tagged them and I said, ladies, I know that I think this 6-pack might be a bit of you. Let me know if you're interested. Something really, really simple. Now that then had a really good knock-on effect on that, because 1 or 2 of them see that post and was like, brilliant. Oh yeah, I'll have one of those. And it led to, you know, oh, that sounds nice. And off the back of that, I had quite good interaction and quite good, you know, actual success from it. So don't be afraid to tag. So I wouldn't use it on every single post, because otherwise it looks like every single post you're just trying to get a sale. I would, you know, be a bit, pick sparingly when you can say, when you know, I really know that certain customers would love this. I know that I don't post about vanilla bean buttercream very often. So posting that vanilla 6-pack and then tagging them in it, they were probably like, oh, finally, she's posted something that I absolutely love. So they've got to have it. So you've got exactly that. You've got to know your customers. And this is like a really good tip. Like I make notes in my phone quite often, or in my little like Scentsy diary, and I write down customers that say to me, oh, I absolutely love. So one of my customers said to me today, I love Orchard Sunrise. And I was honest with her and said, I've never worn that. I was like, and she was like, oh my God, I found a new favorite. I love it. Made a note of that. So that type of fragrance, when you start to get to know your customers and you know what their favorites are, it makes it a lot easier to be able to draw that out within your customer group and to be able to create content specifically for people. That I think is the important thing that we need to be able to do. The more you know your customers, you can create something that's like, if you know, I know that I've got a customer at the minute that is desperately looking for mini warmers. So if I spend 2 days focusing on just mini warmers and posting really lovely pictures and really scouring everywhere the world to find the best pictures, that's the type of thing I could tag her in and say, look, these are for you, Helen. Like, I know you're in the market for a new mini warmer. Let me know what you think of each one. Just comment on them. I would message her this, just comment on them and say yay or nay, what you think, but this is for you. And that's the type of thing that will draw attention back to your customer group. It will get your customers commenting in there. Know your customers. It's not easy.
No, a few people have mentioned the everyone tag. So I have left groups when I've been tagged in everyone, but you can actually turn it off. There's a notification. So if you go to your notification settings for that group, you can actually remove yourself from being notified from the everyone tag. However, I do see it as a business tool. I really do. I don't think like if people leave your group, it's likely they weren't going to buy anyway. But if I'm being tagged every single day in someone's group for no real reason, like it's almost like I use it for urgency. Like, okay, guys, these are going to sell out really fast, so I'm tagging everybody. That's a reason to tag everybody, not, oh, hey guys, this bar of clothesline is really nice. Everyone.
Yeah, or if I'm going live, quite often I'm going to be live, guys, in 10 minutes to show you something brand new that you need to see. Warmer of the month, normally, I'll scent of the month at everybody. That's the type of, I'm the same.
Yeah, like and announce something. I certainly wouldn't use it every day. Flash sale definitely requires the everyone tag. I've done it for a post. I listed all the £4.35 bars and I tagged everybody, and I must have sold about 30 bars from tagging everybody. So, and I probably had about 5 people leave my group because I used the everyone tag, and they were like, oh, I didn't even know I was in here. Yeah, like I forgot I was even.
Smile and wave, just smile and wave, people.
It's fine. It doesn't. I'm never, ever focus on the amount of people in my group. I get it. Some people feel really personally attacked when somebody leaves their group. Like, what did I do wrong? But I promise you did nothing wrong. I've left loads of groups, and it's not because they've done anything wrong. It's just I don't need to be in there. I don't know. It's a really old one, Kerry. I don't need to be in there anymore. So I'd leave the group. Like, I've been in clothing shops that they're not my taste anymore, or, products. It's just, the everyone tag is a business tool. So don't completely write off using it just because you've had a couple of people leave. It's absolutely inevitable that people are gonna, you're gonna basically remind people. But what's the point in hiding anyway? Like, if they're gonna leave you, if they don't want to be in your group, you're just shaking off the.
You're making room for more customers, right?
Yeah,
do you know what else is a really great way? Instead of the at everyone tag, this works really, really well for me. So I use my WhatsApp broadcast quite often. So when you create a post in your group, you can get, there's 3 little dots at the top of your post, and you click on them, and it'll give you a list of stuff, and you can click copy link, and then you can go into your broadcast. If you don't have a WhatsApp broadcast, that is something you need to go. That is a business tool that is a must. And this will increase engagement in your Facebook groups. So then what I do is I go into my WhatsApp broadcast, which has got 150 people of my VIPs, has got a few people that aren't on Facebook, and they always remind me, I'm not on Facebook, but I don't worry about them. I'm like, whatever, you need to get on Facebook, get with the times. I've got good relationships with them. So I do say that. One of them's my auntie. And I basically will send that on my broadcast, and I will say, hi guys, I'm doing, I don't know, I've asked a question. I would absolutely love your opinion on this. Could you help me out and answer this poll? Or could you help me out and answer this question? Thanks so much. Really appreciate you. Copy and paste the link to your Facebook group. They click on it. They end up back in your Facebook group. They go straight to that post. Hopefully they will comment and answer. And I tell you why, because rather than you say, if you could just go to my group and comment on the most recent post I've done, even when I went into my team group tonight to come and find the link for our Zoom training tonight, even though you sent it to me on WhatsApp time, on my computer, that most recent post wasn't the first post that I see. I would have had to scroll through my group because I needed to click on all new posts. So if you haven't got that, click on start using the 3 dots to drive people back to your customer group. You do it really well with email as well, don't you, Tam?
Yeah, I do it with email, and also so I send out an email every Monday to my contacts tab, and I always ask them to join my customer group at the bottom. Another thing I do, so like I said, obviously a Facebook group is a absolutely free tool that we are so lucky to have, because if we didn't have Facebook, we would be having to go out there and I don't get replies, but I definitely get I don't get replies to my emails as such, but I definitely, like, the more consistently I've done it, like by committing to do it every Monday, I've had a lot of people unsubscribe. Not offended at all, honestly. But yeah, I have had a lot of people unsubscribe, but I've definitely had orders, and it's doing it consistently gives you ideas of content as well. So it's like, it's really started to spark content ideas the more I've done it, seeing what's worked, what's not worked. I do things like meet our fan products. And then in there, what I'll do is I'll give like a explanation of what our fan products are, and sort of list what kind of people these are ideal for. And then at the bottom, I always have joined my VIP group here. Or, you know, anyone like free wax, and then I share the 6-pack of wax, because just the free wax obviously gets people's interest. Like, put that as the title. The title is your hook on emails. Anyway, we're not talking about emails. But what was I even talking about? Oh yeah,
about how you drive people back to your VIP group. Didn't you do you did giveaways and some freebie Fridays that worked really well?
So what I do is I don't do like everyone who interacts in my group this month is going to be added into a draw. I don't do that, because I find the interaction becomes very fake. And I could easily get irritated by people who are just like, beautiful. Like, honestly, I'm like, oh, I could easily get frustrated. I'm like, you're only doing that because you want a freebie. Or I could get you, like, probably find that people are not interacting at all, and you're like, well, can I not even give stuff away? So what I do is I make the goodie bags up. So I'll do like 3 goodie bags, and I'll ram them full of goodies, use my credits or whatever it is. So this is like the equivalent of making an investment into your customer group, as a, you know, it's a free tool. So we get the free credits, so I use them wisely. And I'll ram the bags. You can't see what's in them, but I'll hold the bags up in front of a wall. I take a photo of them and say, right, I've just made these 3 goodie bags up. These are going to, and I'll go look at who's my top contributors are, and I'll tag them, and I'll say, these are going to you 3 guys. I just want to say a massive thank you for all your contribution in my group. It means the world to me. That creates genuine interaction, not fake interaction where people are just beautiful, like, love this one. And I end up getting irritated by that if people do that just for that.
Beautiful.
No, it's not. You don't even like it.
You're like, you just want free stuff.
You just want a freebie. So doing that has that's really worked for me. Offering the products out, offering the gifts, like, I've already decided. So it's not like they're getting that, like, they're being incentivized to interact. But I tell you what happens, way more people start interacting, because they're like, oh, if I interact more, then I'll get, like, and what I'll do is I'll recognize the kind of things I want. So I'll be like, these are for you guys for posting so many photos of your orders. And it just means the world. And like, the more contributions I get, no, Kerry, I don't find that at all. I find it really encourages. I mean, I can't obviously promise that you're not going to find that, but I find that it encourages real, genuine interaction. It's really worked for me, and it's been something I've been doing for quite a while. Even just a couple of letterboxes with some samples in. You don't need to be anything expensive. I'll usually really treat them. Like, I'll put a fragrance flower in and a wax bar. I'll, you know, grab, if I've got any stuff that I've just built up in my credits, I'll really treat them, because I want them to obviously share it and be like, oh wow, this is amazing. And I'll write them a little note saying, your interaction means the world. Go on, Lisa, I can tell you've got something to say.
No, I've written that down, because I thought I'm actually going to do that tomorrow, because I think I get really great interaction, and I'm not consistent enough with actually, like, giving back to the top contributors. I give a lot back in my orders. I think I heavily sample. I do a lot with, like, cheaper postage and stuff. Like, I do give a lot back in that respect, but I think top contributors, I really like that, and I think it's something I need to get consistent with. So I wrote it down in big letters. So I was like, I'm going to do this. There was something I did write down though, but I can't remember.
I do it really sporadically, so I don't have a set system of when I do it. So it's,
yeah,
because if I set myself up for something like that, I get overwhelmed. and I'm like, oh, why did I say I'd do that? I shouldn't have done that. So
it's like setting yourself up for fail, isn't it? Amy
yeah.
asked a question, that was it. How to avoid being salesy, and like other, like what other things does she recommend posting about? And I think that's where I would like to say my group isn't particularly salesy, because I post a lot. Like tonight, I have literally posted a video of Harry flipping pancakes with Mike. I stuck some music over it because Mike was going to him, "Don't chuck it up on the ceiling," or something like that. He shouted out, or Artie it was, but his face was really cute, and a picture of my pancake. And I know that is absolutely nothing to do with Scentsy. And I can honestly say, the more my customers have watched Artie grow up on camera, I actually scrolled back and was looking. You can actually go back and look at like your old posts. Another top tip: recycle old posts from like
all the
when
time.
you first started. Brilliant. I'm always looking back at things that I used to post. But he's literally grown up on camera. He's gone from being like a 7-8 month old baby to he's now like a fully fledged 5-year-old that's talking about PlayStation games and, you know, all that jazz. So like I post pictures of my dog. Gets the biggest interaction. Would you believe it? He's sitting outside my office while we're here, but he literally gets the biggest interaction. And I think it's more, write down. I said I taught this like years ago when I did some training on social media. Write down 5 things, or ask your customers. This is a really good interaction post. What do they think of when they think of you? So like my customers will probably say some of my favorite waxes. Some of them will probably talk about Dexter. Artie's name will probably be in there. A boy and mum would probably be in there. And they're the other things that you can post about. You don't have to just post about Scentsy all the time. Just things that you would put on your stories or on your normal personal page.
I use polls to ask my customers what they like. So I'll say to them, okay, guys, I need your help. What do you prefer? 1 cube sample or a slice of sample? And I'll make it a poll, whatever it is. So I ask them to answer it. And they stuff like that gets interaction. Also, so I ask them, I always do I did actually go live to my team today, so I apologize if you've watched me sell this already. But I always launch the new catalogue with a bang. I always go all over, like all out when I'm launching the new catalogue, and I usually do some kind of incentive to purchase at the very, very launch of the catalogue, and it really works for me. So I asked my customers what they wanted. I asked them in my VIP group, what do you want? Do you want a money off? So if you spend, like, for example, I would give them an example, £40, save 20%. Do you want like, and I asked them, I gave them all the 4 ideas. Do you want a like, would you prefer like a free goodie bag if you spent so much? Would you prefer a free product if you spent so much? Or would you prefer a fixed event of reduced prices? So all the prices, and that's how I launched the sorry, someone on mute. That's how I launched the Valentine's collection. It worked really well for me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the fixed event of reduced prices.
I think as well, guys, like thinking about doing things like having a party in your Facebook group, for example. They've worked. Do you know, one of the things that got me the most sales was literally going live, walking around my house. And I was really honest. I was like, excuse the washing over there, ignore the washing, like you can't see that. Like it was like I was in my pajamas, it was late at night, and I walked around and showed every warmer in my house, every Scentsy product in my house, and that got like really amazing interaction, and that got like really good sales. People love to be nosy, so just show them anything, like, oh, here's a room, what warmer do you think would look better in my bedroom? I'm just about to do. I tell you what's the common theme here is asking your customers questions, because that is the common theme here that is coming up like time and time again. It's asking. And the more you ask, the more information you get back from your customers, the more you'll be able to sort of see what they want to see. I think that's like really important.
Absolutely. And it's just, obviously it's not relying on the interaction and to like that. You cannot depend the quality content and how much you show up to your customer group on interaction. So many people do that. They just see lack of interaction, so their effort reduces. Yeah, Ruth, I posted an air fryer and Facebook messaged me and asked me if I wanted to make money on my posts because of how much
But
interaction.
that's a really good thing, because what I do is when my interaction's a little bit low in my group or on my business page, I ask a question on my personal page. So if any of you are friends with me on Facebook, you would have seen I asked what hair straighteners. I genuinely I wanted everybody's engagement on that, because I really did want to know what people's thoughts were. But I still made the decision on my own, but it had like 50, 60 comments on it. You had loads more on your air fryer. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even think it was.
What's your favorite mascara? Or
Yeah, that's a good one.
you know, like what moisturizer would you recommend?
What time do your kids go to bed? Everyone loves
yeah, like ask something where people get to give an opinion on your personal page, because again, you're interacting with lots of different people. If they're then in your customer group and you go and post in your customer group, it's going to be seen by more people. Oh, Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. What you watching on Netflix? Like,
is it tea or dinner? That's a good one.
We know the answer to that one.
Tea.
Dinner. It's dinner. Someone else said that to me today. How funny. Georgie said that to me today, or yesterday. We were talking about.
She's having tea.
No, she said she was having dinner, but she said her friend Dawn was having tea at the same time, and they were having an argument about whether it was tea or dinner.
Everyone's saying tea. You're totally outnumbered.
I feel your team there on dinner.
Breakfast, dinner, tea. Oh no! Stop it, dinners.
She's talking about like, that's why they call it like. Oh yeah, dinners. Ignore me. Anyway, yeah. So that's like use as many platforms as you can. So if you're not using your personal profile, use it. WhatsApp, use it. Messenger. I've started using Messenger more. I went for a phase where I didn't use Messenger at all, but I actually love Messenger. It's so bloody easy to contact people. I love it. And especially when you've got a customer that like you're only friends with on Facebook, and maybe you haven't got, I've got a few customers that are not on WhatsApp, and I'm like, will you just download WhatsApp already, please? Like I have asked them that. What else did I write down that was like important? A good fact for you though, there are over 2.9 billion users on Facebook. Okay, so when you say there's no Scentsy consultant, there's no one's buying, you know, there's no one that wants to order right now, I'm telling you now that all 2.9 billion people on Facebook do not all buy Scentsy. Now I know that that's worldwide, and not all of those will be like in the UK or in markets that we can sell to, but Facebook is a great tool to start getting out there, you know, seeing like getting more people, finding new customers, using business pages, using groups. There are, you know, if groups are being favored, find groups that are suitable to you, like in your niche. Like that is like a big, you do that, you've done things like that, haven't you, Tam? You're good at like networking in groups. Use them and then drive those people back to your customer group.
Get out there and network. Like networking is absolutely just showing people products that are in your Facebook closed group is very, very gonna massively limit your business. Get out there and network. Get out. I went, honestly, I don't leave the house often, but I did last week. And I went to two shops, and I've got some samples in my bag. And at the till, I just got the samples out, and I went, "Oh, have you tried Scentsy? I've got some spare samples." And they're like, "No, I haven't actually." I went, "Do you want them then?" And they're like, "Yeah, go for it." So I gave them the samples to both people. Added to my customer group, just at the till, just chatting to people. All they can say is, "No, like I won't die."
No thanks, I don't want a freebie.
Yeah, I won't die if they say that. But get out there.
When you're like in the shop and they go, "Oh, would you like a sample?" You're like, "Yeah." Like, you put that in that drawer.
People queue up down the free sample. Of course, they're going to say yes to a free sample. But no, absolutely, you've never, ever, ever joined too late. Like, you think of all the products out there that already exist that have been sold, like coffee. How long has coffee been available? And how many new companies are going to start selling coffee? Like, there's always room for
everyone. How many brands of bread are there?
And there's always people quitting as well. And that's obviously not a positive. However, I am using it as a positive in this instance. There's always consultants quitting, leaving behind a ton of customers. Like, even I see people quitting all the time, and I'm like, "Oh, you've got so many customers. Why are you quitting?" And those customers need a consultant. It's the people who stick around. You can never, ever join too late. Plus, we're actually really small. We're actually still really tiny compared to most other network marketing groups, network marketing companies. We're still so, so tiny. There is so much growing to do in, and the growth is there for people who want it. Absolutely. Yeah. I was having a conversation with it got me so excited with one of my downlines today. She's like, right, I'm gonna be a director. And it's just clicked. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter when you've joined. It does not matter what your business looks like. All that matters is what you do, and what you do consistently. And sometimes it's really hard for it to click, but when it does, a certain video or a certain conversation, like it clicked for me. I just got it. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about sharing my getting loads of sales. It was just, I love the product, I love the company, and I saw an opportunity. I saw something exciting, and it just clicked. I was just excited. I wasn't deflated. When I look at my sales earlier, my sales work great. When I promoted to lead, I promoted to lead quite quickly, but I really struggled to get my 500 PRV. Really struggled. It did not come easy to me. I had to work all month. I had to break it up right from the beginning and say, right, I'm going to try really hard to get sales right from the beginning. I didn't wait till the back end of the month, but it just clicked. I was so excited about it. I just got it. I was like, I like the opportunity we've got here is insane. So my team she's got, I don't actually know if she's on, but she will watch it back though if she doesn't, because she watches everything. But she's got so many skills. She's such a motivated lady, but she's got a little girl, a baby, and she could have a career doing anything. And she's managed to channel a drive while having a baby into a Scentsy business. And she's just got it. She's recruited 2 people in the last, been a consultant since 2021, but she's just recently, especially going to World Tour, it's all clicked into place. And I said to her, once you realize you can actually do something and be really successful at, as well as being a mum, or as well as having a full-time job, or as well as being really successful at something else, I actually realized I can put my focus into this and I can be successful at it. I didn't have money, I didn't have skills, I didn't have anything that on paper that was going to help me grow my business, but just work. I was willing to work, and if you are willing to do it, then you will grow. I promise you. TED Talk over.
It is so true. I've got 2 last points, and then I feel like I've covered everything that I've written down. Just 2 other tips that I think will really, really help you. One of the things is teach your customers to turn the notifications on for your customer groups. So, or even just for you in general. So whenever you post, and you might need to do that as like a one-to-one message, make it part of your follow-up system. Oh, have you got your notifications turned on for the customer group? Just so you don't miss out. I'm going to be doing a giveaway in the next week. I don't want you to miss out. Make it about them. It's not about you. And then hopefully the notifications stay on. Also, if you haven't seen this before, it's quite clever. There's a favorites list on Facebook, and it's a really great tool, and I need to utilize it more. I do it on Instagram. I've got a favorites list on Instagram stories, and you can post just to your favorites, which is brilliant. But actually on your Facebook groups and Facebook, you can have a list of customers that are your favorite customers. So you can have a friends list set up specifically for all your customers. And if you follow them and you favorite them, when you log into Facebook, they're going to be the first people that you see. So you're going to interact with them more. If you interact with them more, hopefully you're going to show up more in their newsfeed. And I think it's little tips like that are going to break the algorithm down. We are going to beat the Facebook reach, whether it kills us. And we're going to hopefully boost that interaction. And Carrie, you said I need to show more me in my group. The more of you show in your group is where the trust will build up with your customers. And I honestly mean that. When, as I said, one of my directors asked me today, how do you do it? How did you do what you've done today? And I said, I think it just literally comes down to the customer is trust. It's a trust thing. And the more of you show in your groups, the more they trust. The more of you show them behind the scenes, the more they trust. And that's replying as quickly as you can, all of those different things, even on inbox, and some of my customers laugh and they go Lisa, I asked you to send me how much I owe you, and you still haven't sent it to me 3 days later. And they go, we know what you're like. I've sent you 2 messages. So my customers even know Like, we have a laugh and a joke about things like that, because some of them I've become such good friends with. They've become like, they're an extension of my friendship circle, as opposed to, you know, customers. I don't think of them as customers anymore. I just think of my customer group as like, they're my little friends. That's my friend group. It's my little, you know, my little Scentsy blog in there. So, and don't worry, as someone said, don't worry about the size of your group. Just keep adding people in. Find new people to add in, Nicola. Just keep trying. They will.
And I know some people feel like they're working really hard and not getting anything. It doesn't always pay off instantly. Like, it very rarely pays off instantly. Very, very rarely. People come in at complete different situations. Like, people come in with a pre-made network. Some people come in like they already know. Like, I could see Jenna there. Jenna knew loads of people when you joined, didn't you? You had like dance moms. She's like, hey, you had like a lot of connections. So she's already got that network. Some people have to work on the networking before they can work on the selling. Are you unmuting, Jenna? Do you need me to unmute you? No. She's like, no.
She's yeah.
Did she say yeah? Do you want me to unmute you? Yeah. Hang on. There we go.
Thumbs up. Well, I thought she'd get thumbs up.
No, I was just going to say that when I started, I'd already had a party and all my friends were already addicted. So as well as knowing all those people, they already loved the products from the party I had. So I had a really good start.
Yeah.
But it is hard, and you just have to keep going and keep going and keep going, and you'll be ups and downs, won't you?
Yeah, but it's about that network. So you already had those people there ready who loved Scentsy. They were your friends already. So that got you started, and that gets you motivated and excited. And then they start recommending people. But some people, you've got to really, really, really work hard on the networking side of things. I got to a point in my business where I had literally rinsed and recycled and rinsed my current network, and I had to grow my network because I wasn't going to get anywhere. So that's what if you're feeling at a point where literally everything you try isn't working, you've got to work on networking. Networking's got to be a priority. Like, obviously Jenna, like, just mentioned that group of people that she came in with. I bet she didn't get to direct her with just that group of people. You've had to go and find more people. Like that, just Jenna as an example. Like, if I didn't, when I look at where my business is today, they're not all people that I knew when I first joined. They're people I've gone out and found and worked hard to find. I promise you, like, the networking is such an important part of this business. So important. Which is why we talk about networking all the why it's in the name, network marketing. It's literally,
I actually think it's the most important thing. I think as soon as you stop networking, your business literally just will start thinking, or I don't want to say dying, but I think it does. I think if you're not bringing in that constant stream of new people, that's the first thing. Once you've got the new people coming in, then you can create the cracking content for them, because they're excited and you're excited. You get that buzz. So get networking first, and then
But Cheryl said she's doing as networking 3 to 5 posts, 3 to 5 new customers. Sorry, I would be buzzing. Like, absolutely buzzing with 3 to 5 new customers a day, a day, a month. So I find a new customer goal. I tell in all my coaching calls, everything, I have a new customer goal every single month. And it doesn't matter if they've used Scentsy before and their consultant stopped selling it and they find me, that ticks one off on my little goal. Every single month, I work hard on building new customers. Some of them buy once and never come back. Some of them like buy random things. I had a guy come to my house the other day and buy a bulb for a warmer he's made himself. I was like, okay.
That's different. Do you know, Cheryl's saying that some don't want to be friends. Not all of them will. Not all of them will want to become friends. Like, some people will. You think they're ignoring you, but actually they're just watching. They're just watching, sitting in your customer group and just watching.
Some people are teachers as well, and they've got their profiles quite locked down. There's a lot of like, you just don't know what their personal circumstances are. Maybe they've been trolled. You just never know. Some people might have
social media and
just
there's not a priority.
A good book for networking. Do you know which book I would recommend any of you read? Beach Money. I think that book is, and it sounds like it's going to be all about money. It's not. It is.
And this one, the other one of this.
The freakishly effective leadership, the freakishly effective social media as well.
Oh, that's social media. That's not networking, is it?
There's loads and loads of different books on networking, but actually it's a skill. Networking is a skill, and the only way you can improve at it is by doing it, and probably doing it wrong quite a few times, probably making a few blunders. But the networking side of things is so important, and every time you sit, every single week, put some time aside to network, and you'll see growth.
We created a list, didn't we? 70 ways to network within Scentsy. It was a while ago now, but like we can repost that list in all of our groups, because that list is like long. And
you literally walk out.
I've done all of it.
Me and Lee go for a 5.5k walk every day, and I say hello to every single person, whether they've got earphones in or not. I'm like, hiya, hello, lovely day, a bit windy. Every single person that I see, because
normally she's on the phone to me on her earbuds. I'm like,
yeah. So what I said to Lee is my purpose for that is, actually he does it as well, but when I go, and like they'll soon see where I live, because they'll see me coming in and out my house. When I go drop catalogues around everyone's house, when I've got my new catalogues, do my catalogue drop, and I've written my note, it's Tam from number 8, that they'll know it's me, and they'll know it's the really smiley lady who walks down. Well, apparently I speed walk. Someone said, are you a speed walker? I was like, yeah.
that lady you see walking every day on her phone.
So but it just creates that little bit of connection with people. So there's a million ways of networking, so many ways, but I promise you there's opportunities. Don't just stick to doing it online. I've done that. Most of my business is built online, and I'd say about 70% of my customers are not local to me, but there is literally opportunities every time you leave your house, every time you pick up your phone. There is 1,000,001 opportunities out there. But anyway, we have talked for so long, so I feel like we really should go. I'm so sorry, guys, for taking up so much of your time.
Yeah, it's been fun though. I feel like we've learned a lot as well. Just I want to go back and read the chat when it's all done, Tam. You'll have to send me the chat.
I will.
I'll tag you in that. I will send you that list again.
Stop the recording.